Hi, I'm Naya. I'm doing a video for the Quickblade Magicka Nightblade build. Yeah. You know, in case any of you guys are still playing Melee. There we go. The front bar is basically exactly the same. So here I am wearing Grothdar just because I'm a whore for Grothdar. I love Grothdar. However, a better set to have here is not Zan's, but Balrog. It will definitely affect your max Magicka, but your spell damage will go up, so don't worry too much. Also, in this particular build, we are using Innate Axiom. So I will not be worrying much about my basic tooltip, because when we look here, a concealed weapon, it's a lot higher than it would be without that, you know, that final 5-piece. So, looking at that, we have Impreg, good old Impreg. We always wear Impreg. Impreg shoes and gloves here, but that's just my personal choice. I have them as too sturdy because I find having sturdy is kind of nice, since I don't do a whole lot of block sustain, so having that there is kind of helpful. I have an infused cost reduction glyph. Having it infused doesn't make a huge difference, but you can notice it. It's not required, but I do suggest it if you can afford to do it. I have an arcane ring here, and then over here I have another arcane necklace, but this one has a stamina recovery enchant, because I don't have Shacklebreaker on, which means I need the line of stamina recovery to do stuff. On my back bar I have a Maelstrom Resto. I have a Master Resto on my back bar for two reasons. One, because sustain is nice. I like being able to sustain things. The other one being Mutagen is just a really nice fucking ability. It's a really nice passive heal. It goes nicely with the Forward Momentum passive heal, even though the Forward Momentum heal is like not really that much at all. And I don't know. I don't have a Black Rose staff, so I haven't been able to experiment with that. And honestly, like, even if I had Black Rose, what do I do? What heal here is actually worthwhile for that 30% extra passive? It's basically fucking nothing. So I have two shadow abilities on my back bar, two on my front bar. Good, I've hit that mark. I got a siphoning on my front bar and a siphoning on my back bar. Good, I've hit that mark. And then we need Merciless somewhere. We get Merciless on our front bar because it's where our damage is, which leaves us with Forward Momentum. This could not be Soul. I mean, it can not be Soul Harvest, but I don't see much reason not to use Soul Harvest, at least on your front bar. I have a tendency to use Tether on my back bar, but Light's Champion 100% works too. Blessing of Restoration. I kind of like hate this ability, but at the same time, it's what I have to use, so I don't entirely hate it. And it's not a bad ability. It's just not what I'm used to at all. Feels weird. But it does give us Minor Resolve and Minor Ward, which just gives us a nice little defensive buff. So yeah, remember that. Also, if our health drops to a certain amount, we get a Burst Heal and a Purge. So that is why I prefer Mutagen over Rapid Regen. I also have to cast Rapid Regen more often. So in terms of like what's easier for buff management, especially if I just want to take advantage of the Magicka return, then I definitely want to be using Mutagen. And since we have VMA Rest on back bar, we have Innate Axiom on our front bar with a Nirnhoned Greatsword. So yeah, this is what our stats look like. It's pretty good, all things considered. Our regen is quite low, however, that is kind of where the cost reduction comes in. I would be playing this on a Breton. Like, I would probably be a Breton right now if I had my choice, but I haven't gotten that far yet. Overall, we're really tanky because we have a lot of crit resist. You know, welcome to wearing Impreg. If we get a transmutation buff from an ally, then we, you know, go up to like almost 55k. I'm using PvE spell power potions like I always have used on Nightblade. I have seldom not used this. I didn't use tripods once and I enjoyed it, but I was not able to do that for this build because that means we need to have entropy on the bar. And there is nowhere on this bar that I can fit entropy and not cripple myself badly. Yeah, so that's kind of why I do that. Now onto food. We just have good old Witch Mothers and the Apprentice Stone. I have tried using the Max Magicka Stone on builds where I'm using Harness, and I'm kind of just like, whatever. I feel almost no difference. So we're using the Apprentice, just kind of help get that base spell damage up. Witch Mothers has just always been my food of choice, really. You can use like Citrus Clockwork if you have it, but I mean that's a little bit overkill. I don't think I have it on me. No, I don't. Okay. As for CP, basically the same as the Insurgent build, and I think Perfectionist, Elemental Expert, Elfborn, Acceleration, 66 Master Arms, basically 9 Staff Expert. I have not changed this tree since probably Dragon Bones, maybe before that. Been almost a year now. Same with this. I have not changed the amount I put into Thaumaturge in for fucking ever. If we look at Resistant over here, I put... Normally I only have like 40 in here, but I put 43 because I had 3 points left. 66 into Ironclad, that's where the jump point is. 56 into Thick Skinned. 37 into Hardy, 37 into Elemental Defender, and 31 into Bastion. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, but wait, Naya, we're not using shields on this build. And yes, I'm not. I have 31 into Bastion for 2 reasons. One, because I often don't change my CP. So you could move this 31 to Quick Recovery. However, a lot of people I play with still use Healing Ward, which means when I get hit with Healing Ward, it's going to get amplified by 31%. Or not 31%, by 13%. And I'm going to feel that a lot more than I'll feel Quick Recovery, because the scaling on Quick Recovery is really, really bad. It's just like Blessed. The scaling is really bad. So I'd much rather have that here. Warlord, 53, Sprinter. This is kind of like where I just put my extras most of the time. We have these 2 base kind of amounts here. I don't change these much. Just, 75 here, 45 here. Excuse me. I put 10 into Befoul to help secure kill after a Soul Harvest. So after I've hit someone with Soul Harvest and they are defiled, I don't crutch on Defile at all because I don't have any sources of Defile, but the one source of Defile I do can be helpful for securing a kill. So having that Befoul in the Defile is a little bit more helpful, but it's not drastic or game-changing. You can just kind of feel it, and it does help. 53 into Tumbling because I'm a bit of a roly-poly for someone who plays a Magicka build, and I got about 20 into Shadow Ward. You can kind of play with this if you want. And yeah, that is my CP. That is the build. Make sure you keep forward momentum up when you need it. Make sure you heavy attack for resources if you need stamina, or because you do not want to end up being CC'd and then dead. You have good old Shade. Gotta make sure to kite around with Shade as best to your ability as you can. It does take practice, and that is 100% okay. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy using the build and playing the game. Catch you all later.